The world is lying to you about the future of cars. We're told it's either gas or battery. But there is a third way, a way that sounds like a sci-fi movie, but drips actual water from its tailpipes. This is the Hyundai Envision 74. The GUN, the logic, behind this machine is a radical departure from everything we know. At its heart lies a 95 kilowatt hydrogen fuel cell stack sitting right over the front axle. It doesn't burn hydrogen, it processes it. It strips electrons from hydrogen molecules to create a flow of electricity. Most people think hydrogen cars are boring, like the Toyota Mirai. But Hyundai took that eco-friendly tech and weaponized it. They paired that fuel cell with a massive 62.4 kilowatt-hour T-shaped battery pack. The result? A 680 horsepower monster that doesn't need to stop for a 40-minute charge. It's a rolling lab designed to prove that we don't have to sacrifice the roar of a performance car for the sake of the planet. And the only byproduct of this 160 mile-per-hour beast? Pure, clean H2O. You could literally survive in a desert with this car just by drinking what comes out of the back. That is the first level of its genius. To understand the 2026 production version, you have to look back to 1974. There's a ghost in this machine. In the 70s, Hyundai hired the legendary Giorgetto Giugiaro, the man who designed the DeLorean, to create the Pony Coupe. It was supposed to be Korea's first sports car, but it never made it to production. For 50 years, that design sat in a drawer, haunting the halls of Hyundai. The Envision 74 is the resurrection of that ghost. Look at the parametric pixel lighting. It's a nod to the 8-bit era, yet it feels more modern than a Tesla. The wedge-shaped profile isn't just retro cool, it's a masterclass in functional aesthetics. Every intake on the side, every vent on the hood, and that massive rear wing serve a singular purpose: thermal management. Hydrogen systems generate a staggering amount of heat, and this body is a high-speed cooling suit. It's a car that looks like it traveled from 1974 to the year 2077 just to tell us that we've been designing cars wrong this whole time. Let's get into the heavy GUN, the mechanical logic that most YouTubers won't tell you. Heat is the enemy of performance. In a typical EV, the battery gets hot, the motor gets hot, and the car slows down to protect itself. But the Envision 74 is a tribrid. It has 3 distinct heat sources: the fuel cell, the battery, and the dual motors. To fix this, Hyundai engineers developed a 3-channel independent cooling system. Imagine 3 separate air conditioning units working in total harmony. One loop is dedicated strictly to the fuel cell stack, keeping it at the precise temperature required for the chemical reaction. The second loop manages the 800-volt battery system. The third loop cools the power electric module and the twin motors. This level of thermal isolation means you can take this car to the Nürburgring and do lap after lap at full throttle without the power dropping a single kilowatt. It's over-engineered because, at this level of performance, failure isn't an option. It's a tank dressed as a supercar. One of the biggest complaints about electric cars is that they have no soul. They're silent, they have one gear, and they feel like driving a washing machine. Hyundai's logic to solve this was software emotion. They created NE-Shift. Even though this car has no physical gears, the software simulates the jolt and torque interrupt of an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. When you pull the steering-mounted paddles, the motors actually cut power for a millisecond to give you that kick-in-the-back feeling. Then there's the sound. They didn't just put a speaker in the back, they created N-Active Sound Plus. It uses internal and external speakers to synthesize a high-revving futuristic roar that scales with your speed and throttle position. But the real magic is in the twin-motor torque vectoring. There is no mechanical connection between the rear wheels. 2 independent motors allow the car to spin one wheel forward and the other slightly slower to torque steer the car through a corner. It's digital drifting. It's a car that uses math to make you feel like a racing god. So here is the final logic check. If this car is so perfect, why isn't everyone driving one? The answer is hydrogen. In the USA, Hydrogen stations are as rare as a humble billionaire. You can find them in California, but good luck in Texas or New York. Hyundai knows this. That's why the 2026 production version is a dual-charge vehicle. You can plug it into a standard 800-volt DC fast charger and treat it like a normal EV. But when you find a hydrogen station, you can fill up 4.2 kilograms of fuel in 5 minutes and get an instant 370 miles of range. Hyundai isn't just selling a car, they are forcing an infrastructure. They are building a car so desirable, so insane, that the world will have no choice but to build the stations to support it. At a predicted price of $160,000 to $200,000 and a limited production of only 200 units, it's a high-stakes bet on the future of humanity. It's a car for the 1% who want to save the planet without losing their dignity. It's the ultimate statement. If you want to know what the year 2030 looks like, you're looking at it right now. This is Jion Car, and we don't just review machines, we decode the future. Subscribe or get left behind in the slow lane.